Springbar, Kodiak. Two of the heavy hitters in the high-quality canvas tent market. Their owners swear by them. They all have good reviews. Price points are similar. So what are the differences? Let's take a look. We recently had the opportunity to set up both brands back to back. My brother-in-law's 12x9 Kodiak cabin tent, which checks in at around 112 pounds and $599, compared to my personal Classic Jack 100, a heavier canvas optioned classic Springbar variant that tips the scales at 80 pounds and will lighten your wallet by $699. While some may fairly argue that a Kodiak Flexbow would be a more appropriate comparison to a Springbar, however, we didn't have one on hand. Nevertheless, the Kodiak cabin style will still highlight the subtle design and manufacturing differences between Kodiak and Springbar tents, and potential owners can opt for a Kodiak Flexbow if they want a Kodiak in a Springbar style. While this 12x9 Kodiak cabin does offer 8 more square feet of footprint, it is a little bit more involved in setup. 3 sets of poles are required to be adjusted with wing nuts and lifted to their final heights. This produces a spacious interior that is over 7 feet tall at the peak. The Springbar, on the other hand, is simply raised by lifting the side poles and adjusting via click snaps on the bottom pole. While both tents can be quickly raised with 2 adults, the Springbar design is far easier for 1 adult, as the click stops can be adjusted a side at a time until the tent is raised. The interior of the Springbar design is 6.5 feet in height and feels more cramped, not only because of the slight lack of roof space, but also because of the removable overhead gear storage. Despite that, both tents are comfortably tall compared to other tent designs. Kodiak specifies a 16-ounce vinyl polyester reinforced floor and claims Springbar is less weight. I couldn't find a specification on the weight of the flooring for the Classic Jack, but both brands appear sufficiently tough and durable. The Kodiak has a smoother feel to it. The Classic Jack has a rougher texture, but without actual weights, it's all personal preference. It should be noted that the Springbar had canvas reinforcements at the floor corners. Kodiak claims on their website that they use a welded seam for the floors, while Springbar uses a sewn seam. I must not know what I'm looking at because both floors seem similar to me. One advantage of the Kodiak is available options. This hole to allow for power cord access is a nice touch if a camper has access to outside power. Also, Velcro on the outside allows for a different room and awning combinations available for the Kodiak cabin that is not available for the Springbar. As for wall weight, both the 8.5 ounce of the Kodiak and the 10 ounce of the Classic Jack are very rugged and durable. Is 10 ounce really worth the difference in cost over the 8.5? It would have saved me $100 going with the Highline Springbar versus the Classic Jack. I like to think the 10 ounce walls deaden the wind more than the lighter walls, but this side-by-side comparison was done with only moderate breezes, and both tents are high quality. So at this point, it's hard for me to say one way or another if heavier walls is worth the weight and money. Needless to say, both tents deaden the wind very well. In fact, the only thing you might be hearing when you sleep at night is the clicking of the zippers, if anything at all. They are both superior to a typical nylon tent. Both tents require tension from the staked surface for its structural integrity. The Springbar tent uses a unique approach of a rope around the perimeter with the stake loops wrapped around this rope. Springbar claims that this is a stronger, more durable setup, and none of the force is actually on the tent fabric itself. It is no doubt part of the higher cost of the Springbar branded tents. Kodiak, on the other hand, uses a traditional method of a heavy-duty sewn fabric strip between the stake loops and the tent floor. The Springbar then applies tension to flexible torsion bars on the roof through the side poles. The cabin style has the ceiling hung off the side poles and then draped over the center pole. Both brands have reinforced sections around the pole interfaces. The Springbar features a traditional triangular access door, small windows on the side, and a large window in the back. I'm not sure if it's my particular tent or the sharp angles of the triangular door design, but my zippers around the door were much stiffer than that of the Kodiak's. The Kodiak has a much brighter interior. The cabin style features 2 doors, the primary door, and a window that can be turned into a door for the optional annex. The Kodiak's interior is very bright with all of its doors and windows. The zipper seemed easier to move with its oval-style door. The Springbar comes with a nice heavy-duty canvas bag for the tent poles, while the Kodiak opts for a more tarp-like design. Springbar's tent bag is also a large heavy-duty canvas duffel bag, opened at one end so that it can slide over the tent. The bag has plenty of room, so rolling up the tent is stress-free. Kodiak's tent bag is a slightly different design. It is a heavy-duty canvas zipper bag. It's designed so that the tent can roll into it. It also has plenty of room to easily roll up the tent, and the zip method is much quicker than the sliding method. One downside is that the Kodiak handles do not appear to have as much reinforcement as the Springbar bag. In the end, it's easy to see why both Kodiak and Springbar have high owner satisfaction rates. Both are excellent high-end canvas tents. It's up to each individual to decide if the modularity and price point of the Kodiak outweigh some of the extra reinforcements and durability detail of the Springbar. As many say, you can't go wrong with either one. The only bad decision would be to stay home. Grab a tent, hit the road, and I hope to see you on the trail.